to the Dr. VTech Show. This podcast is a long-form conversation hosted by Dr. VTech with the top guests in the world of esports. All from owners, pros, semi-pros, former pros, and content creators of many games. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dr. VTech Show. Well, today we got a special guest, and oh boy, he is special and he is tough. I'm going to tell you right now, he's so tough he could look at the eclipse without using any glasses. I'm going to tell you right now, this guy is tough. Well, listen, folks, it's a true honor to bring this gentleman over to the show. He is a Counter-Strike professional league player. He is good. I've seen him in action, and my goodness, he used to make Wildcard's life miserable. I mean, he's tough. So he is right now, he's a former M80 and now currently with Party Knots, another organization. So they're just going full throttle, and he's going to tell us all about it. So Adam Wolfy, welcome.
Thanks, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. So Adam, how did all this gaming started for you? How did were you a console player or what? How did it started?
Yeah, actually, it's funny you say that because I was a console player. So gaming started for me really early, actually. Like I was a small kid, like 5, 6 years old. You know, we all had a PlayStation 1 back then when it was new, and we played. And after a while, you got into the Xbox 360, the golden age, you know, played Gears of War, Call of Duty, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then it wasn't until I moved to Sweden, actually. So many people, well, most people know, but they don't know the full story. I'm actually Swedish-American. I'm born in the States, but my parents are Swedish. And my parents went through a divorce, which ended up me going to Sweden with my mom. And when I moved there, like, you know, Europe in terms of gaming was more on the PC side, like the PC gaming. So that's how I kind of got into it, and Counter-Strike, so to say, was when I went to Europe and played on a laptop, and, you know, just throughout the years upgraded, and that's how it all started.
You know, funny you say that, because a lot of pros that I know that are like in Counter-Strike or Rocket League and stuff like this, or iRacing, they do NASCAR racing, stuff like that.
Yeah.
They start off on laptops. I'm like, what? You must have a freaking Alienware, man. I'm like, what the heck? You're starting off on a laptop.
Yeah, and this was like I think I played on a school laptop for a while because my PC actually broke. But yeah, when I first started out, it was like a cheap laptop that my mom had, and we played, you know, also like the World of Warcraft, and I played everything. Like I played so many games, but eventually I ended up getting to the age where I couldn't afford my own like gaming PC and built it. And you know, I've also Counter-Strike, and especially in Sweden back then, was massive. So a lot of people were playing it, and it encouraged me to get a PC and play. And no, I loved it. I like every moment of it. I loved it.
It's freaking wild, man.
Yeah.
And what when you're in console, what do you used to play? Like, I know you say Gears of War. Do you play Halo as well?
Yeah, so Halo 3, Gears of War, all the Call of Duties. Like, we were a group of guys that used to play after school every day Call of Duty. We'd play whatever the newest COD was. I still remember like running home from school because Modern Warfare 3 had just released, and I'd gotten it in the mail. And so yeah, like basically all those major like titles that's, you know, still are even now relevant in esports. I don't know much about Gears, but I know Halo. Is it Halo Infinite that's going?
Halo Infinite, yeah.
Yeah, Halo Infinite, and Gears I know was a thing, but then they had some issues. And Call of Duty, of course, the CDL, like everyone follows that still. So yeah.
Massive, man. That's huge. That's nice.
Yeah.
I remember going to back then when Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 came out, and we had to make a line at
GameStop or what?
At GameStop, man. It was wild.
Yeah.
It was like 11 o'clock at night. Everybody's sitting down. They'll do a little barbecue. It was crazy, but the lines were like hundreds and hundreds of people. It's like crazy. And I'm just waiting and waiting and waiting till they open up that door, and then it was it was really, really awesome. I will never forget that.
Yeah, something we'll probably never experience again, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
I kind of got to experience that. It wasn't really the same over in Europe, like, because I know in the States people would go crazy. They'd like camp outside and wait. But now it's all digital, so it's
Everything is
different.
digital. Do you know that's what kind of like actually shot the foot on the Xbox One? Remember the big square one, the Xbox One that looks like a VHS?
The first Xbox One.
No. There was a first one. Then there was a 360, the one that came
Okay.
after the 360.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Because they mentioned that they were gonna make that system without no CD-ROM or anything in it, or DVD.
Oh,
ROM.
yes, I remember that actually. Yeah.
And everybody's like, I'm returning it. I don't want it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for a PlayStation. And PlayStation
Yeah.
immediately, oh no, ours gonna have the disk drive, so
Yeah.
you could play it'd be backwards compatible for your games or whatever. And it wasn't
Yeah.
backwards compatible. Sony had a lot of issues, but they were like, yeah, you could play your games and you could trade them and you could sell them to your friend.
Promising everything that
Yeah,
Xbox was.
and then Xbox is like, everything's gonna be digital, but they're just like, no, and they actually fired the person that was in charge of all
Really?
that. Yeah, because they lost so much money.
Yeah. Wow.
So most people left them, and with all reality, what they were telling the truth, but the people at that moment wouldn't be able to understand.
Yeah.
So it backfired on them.
Wow.
Now, if they were to say that now, it'll be perfectly fine. Who cares?
Yeah.
You have a system that's completely digital. Everybody's going to be like, okay, then what's the amount of space do I have inside? What's the hard drive?
Yeah.
How big is it? A 2 terabyte? Is it a 3 terabyte? That's
Exactly.
what they're going to be concerned about.
Yeah. How much space?
How much space you have. And the thing is that if you don't know, because right now you take your system, your console with you wherever you go. You don't want to be bringing a disc. You scratch it, you're doomed. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you need internet.
Yeah.
You have a disc one. You could, I think, some games you could just play like the campaign
The
mode.
story mode. Yeah.
And that is it. But other than that, if you want to play with your friends or buddies online, you can't. You're doomed.
Yeah.
You need internet.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, I think I remember that actually now that you say it. They were like talking about how it was going to be discless and everything. And then I think they even mentioned that they were going to have both a disc version and a discless version or some.
Yeah. Then they came after
stupid-
with that. Yeah, to see the people to come back. But yeah, Microsoft already knew, what was going to happen in the future. And it kind of hurt them really bad. They should have just kept their mouth shut, and then this big tug of war between Xbox and Sony would have been not so aggressive as it is nowadays.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, it is.
But at the end of the day, I always think that PC will always be the kings
Yes.
of gaming, because with PC, I could do Flight Simulator. I could do now Flight Simulator on the new Xbox, but it doesn't fly the same, and I cannot plug in all this other stuff that I want to plug into it. Yokes, the pedals, the throttles, all the stuff that an airplane needs. And if I want to put multiple monitors and stuff like that, the Xbox X is not meant for that. That's just meant for just like casual flying, having a little good time, and that is it.
Yeah.
But if you want to go hardcore, you want to, build a miniature cockpit, you're going to need a PC.
Yeah, for sure.
Most definitely need a PC.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think PC, you just have so many options in terms of a lot of stuff.
Oh,
And
yeah.
also, you have like, if you have all these games, it might be on a platform like Steam, might be on a platform like Epic Games, something, whatever. So it's
Correct.
just so easy to swap in between. Click of a button on your mouse, and you don't have to swap disk. You don't have to. Also, it's just faster. So, yeah.
Yeah, as much. Yeah, well, yeah, it's true. It's very, very fast. Now, when you transition, how was it that I mean, out of all the games, you ended up on one of the most difficult competitive games there is, Counter Strike. So
Yeah.
tell us about Counter Strike. How was it like? Okay, was it a buddy of yours? You were hanging out. Okay, let me just try this, and then you just got addicted. You were playing till 5 o'clock in the morning on this, or
Yeah, so it started with like a friend of my older stepbrothers, like um they were only like, 2 years older than us. Yeah, they showed me this was Counter-Strike like 1.6 back in the day.
mm-hmm.
And I mean, I was so young, I can't even remember. I was probably like 11 something, 12 barely. Yeah, I mean, I remember them showing me the game. I told my mom, "Hey, you got to go out and buy this for me, please." And she got the disc version of it, and I got home, downloaded it, made Steam work and everything, and ever since then, like I just like got stuck with it. Like I don't know, I started out playing more like mods. Like there was a lot of mods in 1.6, like surfing and movement, like it was called creeds, like KZ, and a lot of these like fun things you could do on custom servers. Then I did play a bit of like just competitively with like friends and these guys. Like we would have LAN parties, and I would always attend, and we would go on like PCV.SC. It was like just like a match finder, and you would go in there like the IRC kind of channels, and you would find like a match and against other people, and you would play. And we did that, and we had so much fun. Like I don't know, and ever since then, like I just got hooked, and I kept playing. And I mean, I always swapped games a little bit. Like I got into MOBAs a little bit because, League of Legends and like games like
Oh
Heroes of
yeah.
New Earth were coming out at that time as well. But Counter-Strike for me was just like, I don't know, there was no better feeling than just going in and shooting people. I don't know.
Yeah. Now, have you when you started that, have you played Rainbow?
Yes, actually I did. So I played Rainbow one time, early 2017, I want to say. Like it was a bit earlier on. I tried it. I don't know when Rainbow came out. When did it come out?
Rainbow Six Siege, I think it came out like 7 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. Tom Clancy, Rainbow Six Siege. To be precise, I don't even remember as well.
Yeah, because I thought it was like 2015, 2016, somewhere there. And I remember trying it like early on when it first came out,
Mm-hmm.
somewhere there. But it never really stuck with me. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't until later I actually started like playing a bit, and I still sometimes play it now actually.
Mm-hmm.
And because I think it's a very unique game. It's a very complex game, and it's very unique, but that's what makes it like so special in my opinion. But it never stuck. I don't know.
Yeah, never. Yeah, I used to be a Battlefield 4 guy. A lot of
Oh
people
yeah,
know.
yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
I was a top 30 in the world with certain weapons and top
Wow.
20. Yeah, I was top 30 one time with Claymore kills. Oh God, people! I
Jesus.
used to receive so much friggin' hate. Screw you, f you, and the claymores, you stupid.
Jesus.
I was rich. I just knew where to put them,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah, I knew where to put them, and I was really, really good. So I was actually really good at that game. And then when I tried out the Rainbow, I uh, I was like, I hate this freaking game. I hate these campers.
Yeah,
Campers, and they're like, does defense versus offense, and I'm like,
yeah.
I couldn't get into it. I was like, okay. Then I gave it some time, and then I got really hooked on it. That it was just like unbearable.
Well, I feel like it is one of those games where you might struggle really hard at the start, and you're like, I'll screw this game, but that's what makes it so like addictive is that it is hard, so you want to get better,
You want to get
and
better, yeah,
and then you start getting better, and you realize, oh, this game is sick. Like I love this.
yeah. Well, now to answer that question, Rainbow came out in December 1st of 2015.
2015. Yeah, that's what I thought.
2015, yeah.
2015. I know there was like rainbow versions earlier than that for like
Oh yeah, there was the
Xbox.
Vegas,
Vegas,
and all
yeah.
this stuff. Yeah, yeah, but that's not nothing like the
Yeah,
Rainbow
like the
Six Siege.
Siege.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
told it was a test or just a money grabber, just to let's throw out a game, make some extra bucks, and that's it. It's not gonna go nowhere.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, and they
And look
didn't
what it is
dedicate
now.
too much to it. They just didn't they didn't see it like, okay, this is gonna be a game like up there with Counter-Strike, with
Yeah.
Halo, and these games are gonna be permanent game for years and years,
Yeah.
and they're gonna keep on competing in it.
Yeah.
So they just saw it as a money grabber, and then allegedly that's what I was told. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
So and they just been stuck to it. Now CSGO, when I look at CSGO, I'm like, man, I see the crowds, man.
Yeah, it's insane.
I'm like, holy smack.
Yeah.
These people take this freaking game like it's soccer.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean they do. I mean
I'm
that's
like, are you kidding me?
that's what I've always said, is that CS is kind of like the soccer of esports in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, how in the world these kids would kind of know about CSGO, because you don't see too much advertisement on TV about it. You see more freaking Fortnite. That's like all over. That's in your cereal boxes now.
Yeah.
Fortnite.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you kidding me? But you don't see CSGO. And in order to find out about CSGO, I mean, you got to see somebody on YouTube or somebody.
Twitch.
Yeah, it's like really weird.
Yeah, it is. They don't put that, because even now with like Valorant, they advertise Valorant quite a bit. I see on like YouTube and certain things, and pretty sure even on TV. I'm not sure, but CS has never really been advertised, but it's been out there for, I don't know, it's just been out there for so long with like, CS 1.6, and they've had the source, and then CSGO comes out, and I guess like the word spreads, and obviously now CS2, and I guess they did a little bit of advertising. I don't even know if you can call it advertising. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's just like people, like especially in Sweden, like a lot of older people and a lot of people know it just because it was like almost like a part of the culture, I want to say. Sounds crazy, but seriously, like you can talk to people, like older people, like parents, and be like, yeah, I play Counter-Strike. Like, oh, that game's still around, because they knew 1.6, and they and it's just been around for so long, I guess. I think that's why, really. I mean, it came out what, 1990, like 98, 99, something like that.
Yeah, it came out a lot of years.
Yeah. So I guess like that's just how it's kind of evolved, but it really is crazy, like to see like these crowds and the fan bases, especially in some of these countries, like in South America, even like Poland, like some of these countries, they have crazy fan bases for people.
Yeah, man, it's like freaking wild. I cannot even fathom. I'm like, dang.
Yeah, yeah.
It like freaked me out one time. I was just like looking at YouTube. Let me see what Counter-Strike's all about. Let me see the competitive side. Let me see the fan base of tournaments. I'm like, what the heck? That's like 50,000 people.
Yeah.
I mean, what the world?
Yeah.
It was just like, I mean, it's like huge. It's like,
Nah.
I mean, I'm like, what the heck? These kids are into Counter-Strike, and I kind of notice it is more popular in Europe than it is in United States.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. It's just like, I guess Call of Duty has always been, because of Xbox 360 and stuff, that's what was big here. So Call of Duty has been big. I know Valorant is big here now, and CS was big. But the scene in North America shrunk a lot during like the COVID years. But in Europe, it's massive. Like, it's so big. It's a part of their culture. It's a part of like, I mean, seriously, like people love it.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, because in the United States, you will see more the Rainbow, you will see more Fortnite fans. you would see a lot. Yeah, Call of Duty's like the
Yeah,
number
and
one
yeah,
here,
and Call of Duty and
and
Valorant. Yeah,
Halo and stuff.
yeah, and
Yeah,
Halo as well. Yeah, that's right. That's cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't like the Halo pro scene that much. I have friends that are pros. Got one
Okay.
of them is Renegade. He's like the top 3 in the world. He's with Team Phase,
Oh wow.
and yeah, he's a really cool guy. I have friends with other people as well. Man, I just don't mention so many people right now. One of them is Article. He won tournaments, 2v2s, space station gaming tourneys, and
Yeah, yeah.
stuff like that. So now he's trying to. He said he wants to give Rainbow a try, and I
Oh
said, okay,
really?
fine, yeah. I said, well, listen, you're gonna have to say goodbye to your controller. What? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
But Jinxie plays on controller. I
Yeah,
said, Jinxie plays on
yeah.
controller and he rages and he kicks and
Yeah.
screams. And he's nowhere gonna be as good as a person as the mouse and keyboard. Trust me, you're not
Yeah.
gonna be it. If you want to become a pro one day, you're gonna have to go mouse and keyboard.
I mean, it's true. It's true. I'm
So
now that. Sorry,
yeah,
you
no, go
go.
ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say you actually sparked the memory. I actually did have a period where I played Rainbow. So this was during the COVID times where like Valorant was really popping off and people were leaving CS, and I tried Valorant and I ended up playing on a team with some Rainbow players, NVK, Necrox, and some of these guys,
Mm-hmm.
and they had played like on EG and they were like world champs or something, and I actually gave Rainbow Six a try with them. We actually ended up playing it. We played in a Nerd Street tournament actually in Rainbow. I played with them. It was like them and some what is the league outside of like the it's like
Oh,
the
Challenger League.
Challenger League. There you go. So it was like
Yeah,
two Challenger players, them and me, and I tried it and it was fun. Like it was super fun, but
yeah.
man, like the constant flow of information that is happening.
You gotta multitask so
Dude,
much.
man, I was like, this guy was like rap godding when we were playing, and he was just seriously like communicating everything. And there's like holes above you, there's holes in front of you, there's this there,
Yeah,
and on top of that, you need to aim and shoot. And I was just like, Jesus, it was so fun, but I was like, man, like to be pro in this, like,
yeah.
holy,
You
you got to
got
put in a lot.
a lot of hours. A lot of
Yeah,
hours. Now, what
yeah,
happened with Valorant? How come you didn't stuck to Valorant when you were making a switch? Because that's
yeah.
basically like a copy of a little bit of CSGO, like
I
Counter
mean,
Strike, but it's
a
just more
little bit,
cartoonish.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's fair. That's fair to say. I don't know. Like, I tried it and I played it for like a few months and I scrimmed it. I had some interest from a few like organizations and teams. Like, I mean, I could have probably had like a career there if I wanted to, but it was just the fact that I had not achieved what I wanted to in Counter-Strike, and it was I don't know if I want to say like a pride thing, but it was just like the fact that like I didn't want to give up on those things that I dreamed about achieving to go to another game. And I really loved CS, and CS was really a big part of just my life. And like I didn't I never did it for money. Like I never that's not why I've competed. I've never done it for money. I've done it for pure
Hmm.
passion. So that's really what was like pulled me back into CS. Was like, no matter how rough it is, I'll just say, no matter how hard it is, I just want to keep going because I want to be able to say one day, like, to myself that, okay, at least I did this, at least I stuck with this and I managed to do this, which I later on ended up, like, after, that Valorant period, I was in North America for a bit, but I ended up going to Europe and actually having, like, doing, like, you know, hitting a lot of these goals, doing a lot of things. So I'm happy I didn't go to Valorant, but I don't know. It was just something about the game that just, I think the abilities killed it for me, to be honest. Like the abilities was just hard. The fact that you have abilities in an FPS and, like some of the operators or agents, what do they ever call them that they release, like change so much and like some of them are like broken and yeah.
Yeah. I noticed that a couple of their operators reminds me a lot like, Rainbow
Yeah,
operators.
Rainbow, yeah.
I'm like, okay, there's that purple smoke. And I was like, okay, we got something identical to that. And I noticed that I think we copied them. It's like really weird. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, Rainbow's copying off of Valorant now, and then that green, that lime green skirt.
Line, yeah,
Yeah,
I know which one you
that
mean.
skirt, whatever.
I
And
can't remember what her name is, but I know what you
yeah,
mean.
it's
Yeah.
that green shield. And then all of a sudden, Rainbow now did it
Rainbow,
too. It's like,
yeah.
oh, come on. Really?
Yeah.
Seriously? So, but I noticed that Counter Strike is more like the way it's original, like war.
Yes, yes, it
It's
is.
more war tactical, you know.
It's more smoke grenade, Molotovs, and then, to get like, cause another thing in Valorant is like you could get information off of so many, like, in my opinion, like at least when I played, like cheap ways. Like you could just fly in with a drone with a camera on it and just see everything, or
Mm-hmm.
you could fly, you could have cameras and stuff, which I guess you can in Rainbow as well, but
Correct. Yeah, we do.
but I mean in Rainbow, I think it's like, I don't know how to explain it. Rainbow, like the game is so slow paced that it makes sense to have that, and just because
Yeah,
of
you
like
have to. Yeah.
all the dynamices, like I can't even imagine that game without cameras. That'd be a nightmare. But yeah, with
Yeah.
CS you actually have to like physically get information, gamble like based off of information that you have a lot, use nades, and yeah, I don't know. That's what I like about it so much.
Now, what's your position in the role that you usually take on Counter Strike?
So I'm an opper, the sniper, basically.
Oh,
Which,
sniper.
yeah,
Okay.
which was also another thing in Valorant that was kind of like, when I was playing, it was really strong at the start, and then they nerfed it a lot, and it was just like, man, like I want to be with op. Like I think sniping is fun. That's what I love about it, and you just couldn't really. I mean, you could do it, but it wasn't. Yeah, I don't know. It felt a lot clunkier and weirder. Meanwhile, in CS, like the oppers are really like the star players. There's a lot of like crazy highlights that happen from players, and a lot goes on, and you have a lot of impact. So, and in Rainbow, there's like no sniper. So, well, there is
Yeah.
one,
Now
but
there is one now. Yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah.
can't be sniping on every map.
Oh God, I freaking hate her, man. It's like, dang, just one shot, one kill, you're dead.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you're dead. And usually she's outside. She's just right there, just
Just
waiting.
standing like
Boom.
super far
Yeah,
away.
far away and zooming in, and I'm like, my goodness, it's freaking snipers.
Yeah,
And I mean, I admire people that take that role, because you gotta have a really good accuracy. I mean,
yeah,
because if you don't get that first shot,
yeah.
you got to know how to go. Quickly defend yourself and hide and
Exactly.
take cover, because there's 50 bullets
Yeah,
coming towards
coming
you at
at
that moment.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so you got to do something.
yeah,
And I'm like, oh gosh, I don't want that role. I'd
yeah,
rather just play different type of stuff, because it looks hard. And
yeah,
in Counter Strike, I see how it is you guys are just like looking at little corners, and you peek over here and
yeah.
boom, it's like, oh my God,
Yeah, it goes fast.
it
Like
goes
yeah,
fast.
yeah, it's really fast. And especially that was the issue at the start of CS2. Like there was a big like wide peakers advantage issue at the beginning of the new game CS2.
Hmm.
And as an operator, it was like a nightmare because people would just be flying out of the corners. You couldn't even hold angles because they would be flying. So everyone was just peeking everything, and
Mm.
that was the strength of an opera, was to get posted up on lines and hold angles and pick people off as well. But it's gotten better now. I mean, I would say it's gotten a lot better compared to what it was.
I talked to Slight. You know Slight, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Keller. Yeah,
Yeah, Keller. Real nice guy. Real nice guy. Young guy. Real nice guy. And
yeah,
I think he's also a sniper.
yeah. He is. He
Yeah,
is.
and he was telling me that, because I asked him, and I'm going to ask you the same question: CS1 versus CS2. What's your thoughts?
I
He gave me
mean,
his.
I like the thing is I like CS2 rejuvenated a lot for me personally, and I really do like and enjoy the game, but I still think that I just prefer like CSGO Like it's just the feeling of CS:GO was something that was just so nice. You know, people had gotten like the game had gotten to a point where it was so fine-tuned and like people were so good movement wise and the movement felt great, the feeling felt great, and I just loved it, I loved it. So
Everybody says that, man.
yeah, I mean,
Everybody says that.
if they could somehow make CS2 feel more like that, then I do think that, because I think CS2 has the potential to be bigger and be more popular than CSGO ever was. But it's just about if they can make it, keep fine-tuning it and make it feel better, because it really is in the detail. I mean, CSGO was out for like, geez, what? It came out 2012. I mean, it's been out, it was out for so long, so they've updated, they've fine-tuned everything, and now I really miss CS:GO, but I do like CS2 a lot, but I would say CS:GO.
Yeah, your heart is still with CS:GO.
Yeah.
You're not the only one. Everybody says the same thing.
Yeah.
I said, hopefully CS2, they make it like, the movement, all this bunch of stuff they were talking about it. Because, I mean, I don't play the game yet because I'm a controller player.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, and I play on my PC, which defies the odds. And people are like, what? You're going the opposite way. You got to go this way. I said, listen, I just don't. I can't. I tried.
Yeah.
And I'm in my 40s right now, and my muscle memory is so depth into controller, and I tried, man. It's just like it's a pain. It is. I tried Valorant once. Oh God! I said, guys, enjoy your free kills. Actually, I'm really happy, so this could end quick. And the teammates were like, shut up, man. We want to win. I'm like, I'm a newbie. I'm telling you, I'm a newbie. You're going to have to carry me because I just don't know. So I'll just camp in one location and just start just shooting whatever comes through. And I like it. Not for nothing. I really like it. It's very challenging.
Yeah.
So I'm one of these. I'm gonna have to just download CS2 and just download it.
I mean, hey, you got to give it a try, man. Like I always tell people, like it's a game that you got to try, at least once. Like give it a shot, give it a fair shot. Because I mean, coming from Sweden, I mean, dude, like everyone plays the game. Like everyone. Like seriously, you have people that like, they all work, they all go out, they all work, blah blah blah. Then they come home and they play CS. Seriously, like that's. Like there's so many young people that do that, and even people in their 30s, like, because it's been a big part of the culture a long time.
Yeah, it's part of their culture and the way they raised up in it. That's their game.
Seriously, yes. It's crazy to think about, but it's true.
Yeah, I know a lot of pros, R6 pros that do play Counter-Strike. They just love it, and I know my favorite player, and may he rest in peace, was Kickstar. He would do YouTube videos playing Rainbow, and then all of a sudden you see him switching and playing Counter-Strike. I'm like, what the heck? And like he was like really good at it. I'm like,
wow.
I was like, but then again, he's a mouse and keyboard. He knows how to aim. He has it down to the T.
Yeah,
like
Kickstar.
Really
I never heard of that. Because I'm familiar with some Rainbow Six names, but not Kickstar.
Yeah. Kickstar was very, very popular. He was the one that actually changed the game in so many ways that a lot of these pros are using the tactics and the stuff that he brought in. He basically like transformed what Rainbow Six was about. He did what Jinxie did. Jinxie took a game that was dying and brought it to life. Kickstar brought this game into a competitive game.
Wow.
And then when I saw him playing Counter-Strike, I was like, what's he doing in that realm? And I'm like, okay, fine, let's take a look. And then I used to see his stuff and he would just like go freaking off.
Yeah.
I'm like, my goodness, guy is like really good, and especially on a game that is very, very popular.
Yeah.
and I was amazed in how good he was, and he liked it. And a lot of these pro players, they really respect and like Counter Strike, because when
Yeah.
Counter Strike 2 first came out, a lot of these R6 pros were playing it.
Wow. Yeah.
They
No,
were
that's
like
cool.
playing it constantly all the time. Yeah, they were just freaking going wild. I'm like, what are you doing? "Oh, I'm playing Counter Strike tonight. Okay, I said, that's cool.
You're like, come on, guys, you need to be playing Rainbow. You need to be
Yeah, no,
practicing.
they
We
didn't
got
care. They're like, oh, we're
new.
tired of that. We're gonna go play some Counter Strike too,
That's
and they
funny.
were able to do good because the mouse and keyboard, the coordination,
Yeah.
the reflex. Obviously, they're not gonna play as to your level,
Yeah.
but they played like really really good. I
Yeah,
was
they were
I was
still
amazed.
above like the average, because of their Rainbow Six skill.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
skills, the
No.
competitiveness, they know kind of like what to do. But if they were to face a pro, they knew it was going to be over.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
And all pros are like that. It's like a pro player from Counter Strike or Rainbow try to go against Tfue on Fortnite.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna get
And I mean,
demolished.
especially if you play like, if I, team wise, like if I was
Yeah,
to go in and try to take a team of got my guys and play a Pro Siege team, we get absolutely demolished because
yeah.
just
It's so much stuff to it. There's so
yeah.
much stuff to it. Even in like an Overwatch, that's another game that's really
Oh
good.
yeah.
Overwatch is
Yeah, I
very
played a bit of
popular.
Overwatch too, actually. But
Yeah, me too.
yeah, we played at the start. We actually when we were in boot camping in Sweden when I was on Fnatic, we were playing that the boys after practice for fun.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty fun.
That's crazy. That is crazy, man. So how was it when you were with M80? You liked the organization? You were there for how long?
I was there for about like almost 4 months, I think. Can't remember. I think it was 4 months. It went by so fast, like I can't even remember almost. But it was 4 months, and I mean, I loved them. Like seriously, like I got to meet Marco. We were in Malta with him. Don, Saikon, Rory, Def, the coach, and the players. Like the hands down the best organization I've been under. Seriously, I mean, they were really good guys. They really tried to take care of you, and they wanted the best, and it was good. Like, I enjoyed my time there, seriously.
Now, did you leave on your own, or do you got dropped, or you got I know the word drop is ugly. A lot of
Yeah,
people
no,
hate it
no, yeah,
because a lot of
no,
players they go through it. They just like, yeah, I
yeah,
got dropped,
no,
or I got released. I used to say you
yeah,
get released
release.
sounds better, right?
Yeah,
But
no,
business is business. I
it
used to
is.
tell don't take it personal, because they just not too long ago there's this guy named Kino. They
Oh
dropped him.
yeah, yeah, they did. Yeah,
They
Kino on
dropped him.
Amena.
They repicked him up.
Yeah, and they have him now. Yeah,
They
yeah,
have him
I
back.
know.
So it's like you just never know.
You never know. No, it's
You never
true.
know.
No, I was released from the team. They dropped me after 4 months around after we were in Poland on Thunderpick. We played a tournament called Thunderpick. It's like some
Yeah.
tournament hosted by some betting company. And after that, they told me they were gonna head a different, like they wanted to head a different direction in terms of the op role, which I thought
Hmm.
was. I mean, I told them like I saw it coming. I wasn't performing to the level I needed to, and
Hmm.
it was honestly better off that way. I think for both of us. I mean, it was. It sucked because I loved the org so much. I really liked them. They were good people, but it's a
Nice.
part of esports, like it's like you said, it is business at the end of the day, and it is based
Yeah.
off of performance. And so I had understanding for them, and I ended up playing like a few, because we got back to Texas after Poland, and then they told me, and then we still had matches to play, so I was still at the house in Austin, and I still played with the guys the last few matches. And like when you play when you know that you're not on the team anymore, it's always more fun to play because all the pressure is off. And I had a great time and played well. And after that, shortly flew back home to Florida. And yeah, I mean,
So then
Nothing bad to say.
how did the org that you're with right now, how that came about?
Sorry, what'd you say?
How did Party Knots came about after that?
So Party Astronauts was a team that, was already competing during the time when I was on M80. They've always been in like a North American team, like a free agent team that has been competing in the scene that's been around. And I knew a few of the people on the team, and they've kind of had a same or a similar core for a really long time. And so basically, like, I don't know how to explain it. It was like it was odd because I knew the players, but I didn't know them that well. But I knew that if I was to play on their team, like we could, you know, do a lot of damage in my opinion. I think that like me being an addition to the team was a good change, and we kind of talked, and they had an offer already in the position, but um they felt that picking me up was a better decision, and they ended up doing the move, and they wanted to do it, and I wanted to do it, and now here we are. It's been 4 months. It happened actually in December last year, so it's coming up on almost 5. But yeah, I mean, I've enjoyed my time. They're really good guys. We've had our massive ups and downs, really big ones, but
Yeah.
right now we're on the upswing, so
Okay.
I really enjoy it.
I always say is the chemistry you have with a team. At the end of the day, you could be with whichever organization, but if you don't have a good chemistry with the
Yeah.
players, it's gonna be like it's awful.
It's
like
awful,
going
yeah.
it's like going to Longhorn and and then you just get the worst server.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
damn it. I love the
Yeah.
freaking steak here, but man, these waiters just like rude. They throw the food is not coming out right. They don't
Yeah.
care. They're like, well, can you just eat it? Scrape it off, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, just like rude. And
Yeah.
you don't care how nice the restaurant is. You don't care
It's true.
but if you can have the worst server, it's not worth it.
And especially in a team where you compete and you play tournaments, like you need to have, like that was one thing that we actually did on Party Astronauts at the start, is we kind of had with our coach like a team building phase almost. Like we didn't even practice like on the server for the first week. We did like like kind of like a team building. We talked about like the 5 dysfunctions of a team, for example, and how, the bottom pillar of a team is trust. And if there is no trust, you have a dysfunctional team. And you have a dysfunctional team, you're not going to be winning. And I don't want to say that like on M80 we were a dysfunctional team, because I got along with the people well, but I did struggle, a bit with trust, and feeling like, I was trusted 100% on the team, or that I trusted someone 100%. And that's hard, it really is hard, especially when you're competing for a lot of money in tournaments and you're trying to win. So that's something that I had a lot better on Party Astronauts, was just, I would say, the trust on the team with the players and how we built the team from the start. And that was very important, like to me, at least personally.
Well, I don't blame you for that. I don't blame you at all, because you were just with M80 for 4 months is a short time, and you were already competing and competing and competing.
Yeah.
And it doesn't give you that much time with the players for you to get to know each other more, and for you to start trusting them, and then feeling like you're gonna have to like watch his back and also do this while you're watching him, because you don't know if he's gonna be able to handle that pressure. And that is something that a lot of players go through. Not the only one. They have a phenomenal chemistry. They get along super well, but then they probably question, okay, does this guy know what to do on this situation, because I don't know him that much.
Yeah.
And afterwards, that comes in time, and then you start noticing, wait, he is good. He knows what he's doing. So I don't even have to look at that section. I could just look over here and worry about what's going on this side.
Yeah. No, it's important.
happens.
I mean, it's very important, I think, and it's hard, like, because if you're on a team where you feel like you don't, I mean, because I usually say like CS is at the point where everyone is really good, like individually now. Like a lot of these teams have really good players, especially in North America. There's a lot of talent. There's a lot of really talented players. But what comes down to what differs the good from the best is the decision making, also like some teams do have like a little bit more of an X factor in some players that can pull off crazy rounds and push them over that finish line. But, you know, if you look at like Team Liquid, for example, they recently assembled a roster with North American, European, and South American players, but they're an American-based team, or they're, they played in the they play in the Americas region, and the first thing they did was the same thing, like team building. I mean, it's all on YouTube. Like, there's videos when they're sitting there and they're freaking pouring their hearts out to each other to build that team chemistry and to build that trust. Because, it's easy to, have confidence when everything is great, but to have confidence even when things aren't going well and believing and
That's
saying,
true.
like, and believing in your own capability, or, that your teammates trust you. And in those situations, it's very hard because without confidence, like you're I mean, you can't do anything almost. Like you need that to compete. So I do think like especially in CS there's a lot of mental side of the game that people don't really see, and how vital it really is. And you see that now in top teams that they're focusing a lot on it because it is important. I mean, it's a big factor for their
It
success.
is. It is. And knowing how complex Counter Strike is, that you have to know what to do and everything, because it's not easy.
Yeah.
I noticed that is a very concentrated team based game, and everybody has a different type of role,
Yeah.
and you got to play that role like very very, you know
Very
how can I say,
well. Very well and
yes,
very honed in, almost on.
exactly, you're
Yes, it's
zoned
very,
into it.
yes, exactly. You have to really like embrace the role that you're in the game. And yes, very honed in, very, you got to really embrace the craft. Like I remember Apex on Vitality, the IGL for one of the best teams in the world, he said what he thinks that should have happened earlier in CS is that they used players more like they did with people in real life jobs, like now, like with their specialties, in terms of what their specialties are, because you take players and you take their specialties and you put them together and you form this, you know, team. Like, and the specialty is their role, which is like, what you do in real life. Like, you have jobs and you find people that are specialized in certain things, you put them together and they create incredible stuff. So yeah, I read that, and I thought it was just very true because you do need to be very honed in and very, very focused, like on your role.
Now, have you tried different roles other than sniper on the game?
Yes, yes, actually, I've done so many different roles. I've been like coming up, I think that's the one thing that I regret the most was that I didn't just like focus on the role that I wanted to do the most, which was the op. I was like one of those guys that I would do whatever I felt was for the team. Like, if the team needed me to be an anchor, I would do that. I was even IGL at a point because, like I was a guy that when no one would take responsibility, I would do it. Um, I've done all types of roles, entry fragger, everything. But I really always wanted to be an opper, and I felt like that's what I could be good at. And it wasn't until I really stuck to that where started finding success in my career. And that's the one thing that I guess I could say you should never have regrets, but I regret that I didn't do earlier, which was to be a little bit more selfish and just say, I know this is what I want. I'm not going to join this team because I'm not going to be this role, not going to be that role.
Mm,
I want to be an opper. I want to stick to that, and I'll find the right people to do that with.
wow. Now,
Yeah.
how many tournaments you won?
So I've won. I actually don't even know. I mean, relevant tournaments like
Any type of tournaments or anything you
oh,
won.
any tournaments. That's a good question. Because I have, I have quite a bit of like, LAN wins, like smaller LAN wins. I have
Now,
uh
M80 was your first team, or that's your second team you're in?
so actually like M80 was probably, I would say in terms of like good teams, it was probably like my third team. Like my best team was in Europe. Like we were top 16 in the world at one point with a roster in Europe.
Top
Um,
six?
top 16.
Top 16. Okay.
Yeah. So on that team, and that was the team that I had the most tournament wins on, I would say. We won, I would say 3 or 4 online events. And then we had like even like 3 or 4 like second places that could have been first places in events on that team.
Wow.
Yeah. And then, I have a lot of like small like LAN wins,
Yeah.
like, at Swedish tournaments, like, but I don't consider those like, big wins. But I have a few, like I have a few tournaments there that I've won, which I'm proud of. That was always something I wanted to do, was to compete against like top European opponents and win the tournaments and qualify to tier 1 events. So that's definitely something that I'm happy I did, and that I stuck, because that was the reason I stuck in Counter-Strike instead of Valorant for, I was like, I need to at least like win something.
Yeah. You got to win. You got to feel like you made it. You did something.
Yeah,
Because
for
if you're
sure.
playing a game that you're just not winning and not winning anything, it just very discouraging. You're just like, oh,
Yes.
okay, let me look for something that I could just have fun.
Yeah,
And winning
exactly.
is fun. No matter how you
Yeah.
paint it, winning is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you come into second, top three, third, or second, you're still gonna get paid.
Yeah.
It feels good.
It does.
Trust me, it feels better than that person that's in fifth place.
Yeah, it
So
does.
so at the
Yeah.
end of the day, you're winning in a way. If you win the first place, of course, that's the major
Yeah.
cream of the crop.
Yeah, that is the top. Yeah,
You got the top of the top.
yeah, so
So, uh, but yeah, so I kind of assumed that you played when you were up in Sweden, right?
yeah, for sure.
So
That's where I started for me, basically.
how do your parents took it? How was it? Were they like, listen, get off the computer?
So my mom was kind of like, she was kind of like that. I wouldn't say like they started supporting it until, there was actually like money coming from it,
Yeah.
especially with my mom, because for me it was like, I mean, I was like when I was like 16 and I was trying to go pro, it was like you were like delusional. Like I was like delusional. Like I was like telling people like, yeah, I'm gonna be a pro CS player, so this won't matter anyways, blah blah blah, and this and that. And this was before I was even good. I just had this crazy like, belief in myself that I would do it. But
You had
yeah,
that gut feeling you were gonna make it.
yeah, well, yeah. I mean, at
Well, it's
least
good you have faith in yourself.
yeah, I mean, you have to, in my opinion, because it's
Mhm.
like no matter what you do in life, whether it's starting a business, whether it's trying to become a professional athlete, professional esports player, it's like everyone starts somewhere, and the only thing that can really keep you going is that belief and that motivation, uh, that you can get to somewhere, like you can get to a point that you want to be, because it's not always easy. Like, I mean, geez, when I first started, I would play tournaments and you would get absolutely smacked. Like you would absolutely get first rounded, you would lose second round. I mean, absolutely smacked. But
Wow.
but I mean, you just you keep going, and you just say, I told my parents, I said, and this is what I want to do. I want to see what happens, and I love doing it. And eventually, it got, slowly over time, it progressed, and they saw it. And my dad really wasn't in the picture because he lived in the States at the time while I lived
Mm.
in Sweden. Um, but he always told me that even though he didn't understand, Counter-Strike and esports because he's a bit older, he did what he wanted in life, which was, he started his own business. He was his own business owner. He did classic cars for a long time. That's what he does now. And he said it would be unfair of me to tell you what to do when I did what I wanted. So he's
Yeah.
always been, a supporter in that sense. Even though he's at the same time, try to look out for me and say, at the end of the day, it's important to have a career, because if you want to have a family, house, all these things, it's he just looks out for you. He knows that life can be tough, so
Yeah.
uh but I mean overall it's been good, and now they support it, and hopefully my mom will be there in Sweden because we're going to a tournament in Sweden, and hopefully she'll be there and we're gonna be playing in front of a crowd and it's gonna be cool.
Oh, that's gonna be awesome, man.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be crazy because that's actually where it started for me, is DreamHack in Sweden, the original
Mm-hmm.
DreamHack, in Jönköping. That's where close to where I live in Sweden, and I've been there so many times, like at that esports convention and watched the tournament. And now I'm gonna be playing there, so I'm gonna have a lot of friends and a lot of people, and that's always been a goal on my bucket list to do, and now I'm finally
Yeah.
gonna get to do it, So it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be cool.
That's awesome, man. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Now you get to go back to Sweden and
Yeah.
be with your family and your mom, and just
Yeah.
mom, don't scream out my name too
Yeah.
loud,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
cheer for the team, but don't scream out my name,
Yeah, exactly.
She probably bring your baby picture. This was him. This
Yeah.
was him. This is
Sit
my
in the
baby.
crowd. Yeah.
It's like, mom,
Be so
no,
embarrassing. Yeah.
don't do that.
She told me once, I remember she said, "Yeah, I'm your mom. It's my job to embarrass you," is what she said. And I
I know they all say that.
said,
They all say that. Now, after this is like gets done and over with in your life, is there something else you have planned? You thinking about going to college? You thinking about starting a business, or what's your goal?
So it's been very, something I've thought of, and it's been hard because I don't really exactly know what. I kind of have a rough idea of what I want to do, and I know that like one thing would maybe to be a coach in the future. I would love to be a coach,
Hmm.
whether it's for like a professional team, or whether it's, like, because I know like colleges now, they do a lot of like scholarships for esports, and if it would be like maybe even a teacher in like that for CS, or a coach. Or I've also thought of, because I used to stream a lot and I want to still stream, but I can't right now just because my internet.
Hmm.
And but yeah, just something in esports, or even maybe start your own organization. Like a pipe dream would be to, start like a Florida-based organization that could be at a top level. That would be something that would
That'd
be
be awesome.
that'd be awesome. So yeah, something there. I do have interests in outside of esports, like that I've thought of. But with me, it's like what's really stuck has been esports, and I would love to be in a position where I could help people, like help young players or help grow talent, and kind of help them skip a lot of the garbage that you yourself as a player had to learn the hard way or go through. You
Correct.
know, so something in
Like a
those
training camp
circles.
or so.
Yeah, like something in those circles. Like I don't know, like we'll see. I'll figure it out.
I have a buddy. He was a pro player, and then all of a sudden he became a caster.
Oh, really? Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
know.
cool.
There's quite a few that done that. They just like they were pros or were really good, and all of a sudden they're just casting in every
Yeah,
tournament. So no
yeah,
matter what happens
yeah,
when they do a tournament here in the U.S. or it has to involve NA teams, he's the caster. I was like,
yeah, yeah,
lucky son of a gun. I said, you knew how to play it good. You just
yeah.
knew how to do it, and he totally loves it. Two of them actually, and they're just making really good money now.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
just casting, and that is basically it.
yeah. No,
So
that's
I
sick.
mean, the sky's the limit. If you want to continue in esports, go right ahead. There's the sky's the limit. That's all I
Yeah.
can say. Now, question: you say you have bad internet, but you're in Florida. Don't you should get the AT&T fiber?
The funny thing is we have AT&T fiber here, but it's not activated. So I got back here. I've been living in a different place that has had Xfinity cable and whatever.
Yeah.
And it's funny because in Europe and Sweden they all have fiber everywhere. You have like 1,000 upload, 1,000 download, super cheap, super fast fiber. But yeah, AT&T fiber is what I'm gonna get, and when I get that, I'll probably start streaming a bit, before practices and stuff. Because North America, it's like you don't have that many tournaments as you do in Europe, so you have downtime during the days where you can stream when you're playing pug matches or you're doing other stuff before practice or in between to kind of keep things going. So it's something I want to start doing for sure.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. I mean, I think once you get it, see, I have fiber as well,
Yeah.
but I got 2K up and 2K down.
Dang, yeah.
I make sure I get the bad boy.
Yeah,
I
you
want
got to
the
get
best of the
the
best.
best. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I come to find out I was doing the test on my PC. You go to speedtest.com or whatever, and I'm like, it's saying 1,000. So I'm like, hey, I'm paying for 2K up and 2K down, and it's just giving me 1,000. They go, your speed is that, but your computer that has the Ethernet port adapter is only 1K.
Dang.
I was
yeah.
like, what? I went to Amazon. No, didn't go to Amazon. Sorry. I went to Newegg because that's where I bought my computer PC.
Yeah.
And I went and I upgraded that sucker fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got it for like, what, $50 or 40, $30, $39.99, something like that. And just swap the Ethernet port. And then now it just shows zoop.
Yeah, it just
2,000 up and down.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, that looks better.
Yeah, that's the. It's interesting. I think how, even though, well, especially here in the States, like technology has gotten really far, but since it's such a big country and there's so much land to cover, it's still taking a lot of time for people to get, fiber in certain areas, or the technology is not really, upgraded as fast here.
Correct.
Because there's so many people.
That's true.
Yeah, and PC gaming we were talking about before, that has only, I feel like, recently now gotten bigger in the States because of, like, I would say, like TikTok, for example, or YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember, like, when I came here, even like 6-7 years ago, people were like, PC gaming was kind of like, it was completely different. It was completely different.
Yeah, it is.
People were like building PCs, like, who does that? Go buy one at Best Buy or something, It was like, but now it's really catching on and, like becoming big and very popular here as well, which is good to see in a sense because, the more people game and the better it is for esports.
Now, that's true. That's true. And that's why Microsoft makes sure that they don't make, because Microsoft has Xbox, and they make sure they keep certain games exclusive to Xbox that you cannot play on PC.
Yeah.
You could get the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which what I have, allows me to play the games on PC and on Xbox.
Okay.
So I could just, if there's a game that I was playing on Xbox, I could just turn on my PC and I could play that game. Now, does it do it for all games? No.
Oh, okay.
So Microsoft made it like, okay, I can't allow that game to be on PC because then my sales and certain things on the Xbox is going to go down. So that has to be exclusive on Xbox. That's why I was in shock when I saw Flight Simulator on Xbox, and I was like, really? Because this is very intense, and this game like sucks up every juice out of your bones. Oh man, everything. You need to have fast memory, fast everything, graphics card, etc. You need to be like really, really good.
Yeah.
So they made it like okay, you cannot. They won't allow you to do that, so it
Yeah.
won't jeopardize the cells and stuff like that for gaming rigs.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I see. Yeah, I know that I knew that they did something because there is a lot of games on console that I wish you could play on
You
PC.
wish you could play, yeah. If you
Like
have the Game
Gears,
Pass, more
Gears of
likely.
War, for example, that'd be cool.
Oh yeah, that game is. Oh my god, I remember that first one.
Yeah. That
I
one
remember
was
the commercial. I'm
yeah.
like, what the heck? It was
Yeah.
crazy
Yeah, I
how
think
good that game came out.
wasn't that like Xbox's like flagship game, like the
Yeah,
game that
yeah.
came out with the Xbox 360, like that they wanted
That
to promote?
that game was actually very very popular, very big when it came out. That that was an exclusive.
Yeah,
It was an exclusive title
yeah,
for for Xbox.
yeah,
But but then what happened was when it came out on 360, the 360 graphics card and engine and all this stuff couldn't keep to the par of that game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they had
Wow.
a lot of difficulties. They had to do a lot of
Dang.
updates and stuff like that because that game was just like toying with
They would just toast your Xbox.
yeah, we'll toast it. So until the Xbox One came out, and still it doesn't perform at the same level as a PC. You know,
Wow.
so if it was to go on PC, the performance are going to be super. Let me correct myself. So if it was like really really superior, this is what happened that Microsoft kind of noticed. Like, okay, I'm gonna allow certain games to be on PC now. That was on Xbox, like they did with the Halo series. I think they brought Halo 1 or some certain games
Yeah,
that
the
you could
Halo
play.
friend. Yeah, I
You
remember.
could play before you couldn't. It was just exclusive for Xbox. Gears of War, they made that exclusive to Xbox because what happened is it will bring down the sales, but I'm sure 100% if that game was able to, they had all of it on PC, then some people are going to be like, okay, then why have the Xbox?
Yeah,
You know,
it's true.
why now I could play this game here with no
Yeah,
lag, the
yeah.
graphics ranking up, I won't have
Better,
it. Yeah,
smooth,
much better and
higher
smoother.
hertz on the monitor, like everything.
Correct. So this is why the Xbox came out with the series now. It's called the Series
Okay.
X. That one is just like it's freaking strong. That could
Yeah.
play any computer game out there.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, it's really really strong. It's the strongest one, stronger than the PS. The graphics card, it's a 12 teraflop or something like that, versus the PlayStation is a 10. Now, if you compare that to PC, that's nothing. You know, PC
Yeah.
that's a very cheap,
Yeah.
gaming
Yeah.
rig. but yeah, that game Gears of War it was a really awesome third person shooter.
Yeah, it was crazy good. I mean, and it's just crazy how notorious the Chainsaw Lancer became also throughout
Oh,
the year.
jeez. The graphics, the story mode was phenomenal.
Yeah.
They did a lot of good things with that game. I mean, that game, thank God that game stuck around.
What happened to the esports scene of it? Do you know?
I have no clue.
Because I know
That
there was
I
an
have
esports scene,
no clue.
and Optic used to be the best, I think.
Yeah, I have no clue what kind of happened there. Why that game kind of like got out of the esports scene and just like it flopped.
Yeah, that's sad. That is sad.
It is sad because there's a lot of good games out there that kind of like died out. Like for an example, you have the finals now. That it's a really neat game.
Yeah, I've
It's
seen
like
that.
Apex in a way, but
Yeah.
that one's like going down.
Slowly,
little by little.
the hype is dying. Yeah.
I just think if there was a lot more popular streamers out there playing it, They would play it.
Yeah, for sure. I think so as well. I
They'll
mean,
be
look at
playing
like
it.
people like Jinxie, you know, he revived that game, and so many people that never touched Siege play it now
Hmm.
because he was playing it and doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I got a Halo friend of mine that wants to now try it. You know, he's a
That's funny.
semi-pro, and he wants to go ahead and give it a shot. And I'm like, okay. So you know that happens. I
Yeah,
mean, that basically happens, and people just try certain games and they fall in love with it. But sometimes they want to go pro on it, but then a couple years down the road, the game's dying. You just can't even get it. And I don't even know what really happened with the proceed of Gears. Gotta look
yeah,
it up and find out.
yeah,
That's kind of
same.
wild.
Yeah, because I just remember it was like they had Optic, and then Optic was the best team in Gears, and then all of a sudden Optic pulled out, and then it just went downhill from there. Apparently, I don't know. I mean, Halo, I know had trouble as well until Halo Infinite, right? Or I don't know how. I mean, I don't follow the
Halo
Halos.
did good, and they changed it to Infinite to give it like another boost. Because the thing is with Halo, it lasts for like 2 years.
Yeah.
It just started deteriorating, going down and down, and then it came out, you know, after some time with Halo Infinite. But Halo Infinite has so much glitches and stuff like that,
Oh,
and
really?
so much bugs. Yeah, a lot of people just like they just got disappointed. Me, I liked the game. I didn't mind the bugs. I know the devs were gonna fix it. My issues was the pro scene, because in the pro scene they don't judge you when you're trying to climb up to become a pro. They don't judge you as an individual. They more likely judge you for your team.
Oh, really?
You could be a freaking Tom Brady, but since you lost, your team lost, well, you're no good.
Wow.
It's like that.
Dang.
Unless you're friends with other pros, and by there they would get you in.
Wow.
That's the only way. It's like very dirty. I just like, you know what? I don't want to deal with this no more. That's
Dang.
how I saw it. That's how I perceived it. And that's my opinion. I'm going to always stick to it. And people are like, no, some other people. I say, yeah, prove it to me. Then why didn't this person make it be a pro right now? Why this person's not a pro?
Yeah.
And these guys they're freaking great. And
Yeah.
when I say good, they're like way above pro league level, and they needed to be picked up. But what I'm told, well, they played in a tournament, they lost, and he lost. I'm like, yeah, but as an individual, he was carrying his team. He went positive, he did phenomenal, but he got with a
Yeah.
sucky team. How can
Yeah.
you judge him
Yeah.
for what that team went through?
That's true.
You know, so I'm like, you know what, screw you guys. I don't even want to deal with it no more. So you know, I just got so upset at it, man. It's crazy. Now I on Counter-Strike, I see the difference. They judge you by the individual.
Yeah.
If you're a good sniper, you're a good sniper. You could be in a crappy team, but you're a good sniper,
Yeah.
somebody's gonna pick you up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the community is ruthless, like especially on HLTV, like because it's funny, I don't think I mean I know Valorant tried to get like a similar thing, but HLTV is like, you know, CS is ESPN, where they have statistics, you can see players, you follow the matches, and then random people can comment on
Hmm.
the matches and stuff, and you know it's so up and down. If you play good, they're like, oh, this guy's insane, and you have one bad, yeah, this guy's bad. It's very funny, like how how up and down the community is on HLTV, but I mean it just is what it is, I guess. But yeah, there is a lot of it is a lot based off individual. Like if your team is bad and you're doing really well, or you're outperforming, like usually that player goes to a better team sooner or later.
Yeah, that does it. Yeah, in fact, I agree. That's how it should be. You know, some players that are doing good just progress to another team. You know, and those that are not doing good, well then, tough cookies. What can
Yeah,
you know? You
yeah, you just gotta
you
keep
gotta do
going.
good.
Yeah. And then I mean, there's even players out there that I think are really underrated that still haven't gotten the chance they deserve. But I mean, I guess there's always reasons for it. I don't know. I mean, it's just life, I guess. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. So, what recommendations you tell the fans that are around the world? See, my podcast did hit 14 countries. I just got an email not long ago.
Nice.
Now I'm reaching over 25 countries, and actually Sweden is one of them. Yeah, Sweden
cool.
Sweden is in there. Romania, yeah, South Africa. Um, so yeah, what advice you give to these youngsters that trying to get into the pro scene, and what is it that they got to do even to get in with Counter-Strike? What are your recommendations? What advice do you give them?
I mean, my advice is it's gonna sound so basic, but it's literally just like play as much as you can, always play to improve, be humble, and just don't give up, basically. Like as long as you believe in yourself, like don't give up. I mean, all the tools are out there in CS. You have YouTube videos, you have demos, you have tips and tricks videos, you have absolutely everything you need. It's just about working hard, utilizing the demos, putting in the time, and in my opinion, just being humble. Like, just that's all you can do and hope that you can make it. Like if you really have a passion for the game and you have that fire inside and you use all the tools, then sooner or later it has to pay off.
So there's more dedication into it. A lot
Yes,
of practice.
yes, lots of practice. I mean, you really have to treat it like a sport. Like seriously, like CS is a sport. I stick to that. You got to treat it as if you're a freaking football athlete. Like you got to be training, you got to be practicing, you got to be working on your craft all the time, and you really got to just put it in. Like seriously, like treat it like a sport and make it your life. And I mean, obviously like you have to have obviously like when I say that, I'm basing it off of the fact that everyone has, a good economical situation, your life outside of it is good, but because I know there's a lot of stuff people go through, but if you really have it and you really put in the time, like things will fall together. Like that's the best advice I can give.
Yeah, I I agree. Just put in the time, yeah, that's true. Now, question, they want to get into it, but they also, what type of graphics card do they need? What is it you're running? What kind of
So
PC do you have?
I have a 5800X AMD Ryzen CPU, so it's not even that new. I mean, it's pretty cheap. Like, I think CS is more CPU based than GPU.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have an RTX 4080 GPU because CS2 has but become more the game's become more GPU based now. But like the newer AMD 3D processors is what you need, and a decent graphics card, at least 3080 up, like upwards. If you can get the new ones, like that's perfect. But yeah, more money into your CPU and your GPU. That's all I can say.
CPU and GPU. Does it
Yeah.
require like you need a 32 gigs of RAM, or you could do well with
You can
16?
do fine with 16, I'm pretty
Oh,
sure.
okay.
Like it's always been CP. Before you could have I played like 3 years ago, I played CSGO on the current processor that I have, with a 9070. I was playing
Oh,
CSGO on a
jeez.
9070 like 2 3 years ago because it was so CPU based that if you had an insane CPU and even if your GPU was trash and it bottlenecked it, like you had insane FPS. Now it's different, but yeah, any of the new AMDs like the 3D CPUs and like 3080 plus upwards GPU will do. Like that's what you need.
Yeah, I think mines will do great because I played Valorant and I had no issues. I played Rainbow, no issues. and I have a i7. I don't know what it's make sure it's powerful enough to run Flight
Yeah.
Sim. And I had this big, humongous clunker of 3070 Ti.
30, yeah, that will
Yeah,
do.
the RTX 3070 Ti. I
Yeah.
wanted a Ti because Ti basically is like saying you got a turbo inside. It comes equal to what a 3080 is.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure because 3080s, I couldn't find any. And then when you find one, it was like very expensive. This is a little bit right before COVID.
Yeah. It was impossible.
And, oh God, they were impossible to find. And I got upset because I wanted to get the Xbox Series X.
Yeah.
So I got upset. I said, you know what? Screw this. I'm going to start looking for computers. And
Yeah.
thank God I did.
Yeah.
Thank God I did. I went on PC, So, and I'm just happy with it. I mean, if there's something that I have to just lower down, then I'll lower it down. But right now, a lot of these games that are out, they won't suck up the whole entire power of your graphics. You would notice certain little things here and there. Like with Flight Sim. Flight Sim, they designed that game to be run on generations 2 years down the road.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah. So when it came out when the 20 series, the 2080s and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they put their strongest GPU to run the game, and it was able to run, but like on medium low graphics.
Yeah.
So now the 30 series, 3000 series, like the 3070 Ti, the 3080s, 3090s. It will run it and you'll get good 20 frame rates, 18, 20 frame rates per second on Flight Sim, that's super good. Because you're just flying. You see the world just passing by very slowly.
Yeah.
But still, you want more.
Yeah, always more.
Now, the 40 series and, the 4090s, that would just crank it up, way, way higher.
Yeah, for sure.
Without any issues. But it took time. I'm just happy I could fly mines on medium high, and I'm good with that. Or sometimes I could put it in high, but not ultra.
Yeah, ultra.
I could automatically see.
Yeah, on CS is different. We play everything on low. Everything on low.
You know what? That's the same thing that people do in Rainbow. The pro players. I said, "Why do you guys put everything on low?"
More FPS. Yeah. That's what they want.
I said, you guys playing on low and you got a 4090? Seriously? Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, get the heck out of here. You with a 4090 at almost a $2,000 GPU and you're putting your thing on low.
Low, yep.
Get out of here.
And they'll still be upgrading the next year.
Yeah, no, keep
after.
on putting the game on low.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. Freaking
it's
crazy.
Funny. It's just how we FPS gamers are, I guess. I don't know. More FPS, that's what we want.
Wow. Man, so I imagine you had to compete against Light.
Yeah, I have actually a few times. We haven't played recently, to be honest. Last time I played them was in a qualifier for, I think it was IEM Chengdu, which is a tournament going on right now, because he's in China right now, actually. Keller is like playing a tournament. But yeah, I think we played him in a qualifier. But I've known him. I've played on teams with him. I've known him since he was like 17 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a good kid. I've told him he needs to just keep grinding and not let, because now he's on a salary team. He's traveling a bit, and it's easy to let go and relax. But that's the last thing you got to do.
That's the last thing you got to do. A lot of these pro players, some relax and they make that big mistake, and then all of a sudden, they're no longer with that org, and they're like, wait 1 second, I need that money. That's why I think about getting into pro league is so tough, because I don't like to feel that I'm walking on eggshells.
Exactly. Yeah, it's true.
Because you could get kicked any moment, no matter
it's true.
what.
I mean, it's true, and that's why, again, like I go back to like the whole like trust thing, is you need to be on a team where like you can have where the trust is so good that you can have open discussions and criticism to each other for the better, so that you can always feel like, okay, well, we tried at least the most before we moved on from this player. Because some teams you don't even get that chance. I mean, some teams you're just, they're gone.
Yeah, so true. So true, man. So listen, I know time is of essence here, and I know you're busy, and pretty soon that eclipse.
Practice soon, and the
yeah,
eclipse. Yeah, I won't be
probably take
staring
a
at no
little.
eclipse. I'm not gonna be going blind or damaging my
Yeah,
eyesight.
yeah,
That'd be the
don't do
last
that.
thing.
Wear the proper
Oh,
eyewear that you need.
yes,
But
sir.
but yeah, so you're gonna be practicing soon. Yeah, get into
Yeah.
streaming, man. I wish you once everything gets taken care of with your internet.
You have to call them
Um,
today. AT&T, be like, hey man, it's time to activate
yeah, it's
that.
time. Give it. And to be really honest, if you're not watching too much TV, it's the best thing to go.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
seriously.
because I have all these. I got Netflix, I got Hulu, Disney Plus,
Yeah.
and now they do those bundle 3 for price of 1.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And yeah, with the Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN Plus,
Hmm.
they give you those 3 for one price.
Yeah. I mean, I barely even. I don't even use Netflix anymore. I just watch movies on the computer on other sites.
Yeah, you see, there's Freevee. That's another one that's
Yeah.
free,
Yeah.
and it's by Amazon. And I
Yeah.
was like, wait, it's free? And they're like, yeah, you don't have to pay nothing. You just watch some ads. Well, that's commercials. Well, fine. Let's watch it. Let me download it.
Exactly.
And
There
just
you
get it
go.
for free. Watch a few movies in there, really good movies, good titles, and I'm like, okay, this is sick. I like it.
Yeah.
Just watch that. But when it comes to gaming, you need
Fiber's
really,
a
really
must.
good.
Yeah, it's a must.
Yeah,
Especially in this game, like paying and everything, it matters. Like the connection matters.
yeah. So hopefully that comes soon.
Yeah, no, I hopefully it does. I mean, I'm gonna get it sorted.
Good deal, man. Good deal. Well, Adam, thank you so much, man, for coming on the show. And and talking to me and to the fans that are out there listening. Just real quick, I always give everybody the stage so they could tell where they could find you, where they could see, where everything, your social media, whatever. Go ahead, stage is
Yeah,
yours.
the best is my Twitter at iWolfyCS. That's where I post about my games. That's where I post most of the stuff that's going on. So if you want to follow me, definitely leave a follow. My Twitch is Wolfy with 3 Ys CS. Hopefully be streaming soon. Again, you'll find out on my Twitter, so just follow that one. And yeah, thank you to everyone that listened in, and thank you so much for having me.
Not a problem, man. It's an honor and pleasure. By the way, before we end, this now just came in because I knew I had to ask you this question. How do you got the gamer Wolfie? I mean, out of all of
that's
the, you could have used Timberwolf.
yeah,
you
yeah.
could use Lobo.
It was Wolf first.
Wolfie.
It was Wolf first, but when I was a kid, my favorite animal was wolf, and I had like a stuffed animal as a wolf that was named Wolfie that I loved. And I was like 10. I was trying to find nicknames, and I was trying to find a game alias, and I was young, and it just became Wolfie. I don't know. And people think that when your name is Wolf or Wolfie that you attend FurCon or and all that stuff, but that's not for me. I don't do that stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
the Swedish translation actually sounds better, and I've had people tell me you need to swap to that name. The Swedish translation is Vargen, Vargen, like Varg,
Oh, that sounds nice.
Vargen, yeah. So, I mean, I thought of it, but it stuck, so I've had it since then. That's been my nickname, and that'll be my name on my sticker, hopefully this year.
Wolfie. Yeah. So it's like my dog is named Fluffy.
Yeah, it's like, but then again, I always think of like there's always like names out there that have been, I mean, look at like the Swedish player, like Get Right, like Get Right, the player. That was his
Correct.
name. People memed about that until he's big and pro player. So
Exactly.
you gotta be proud of your identity and what your name
Yeah,
is.
make
So
it unique, distinctive,
yeah,
different. It catches attention. You see Wolfie and like Wolfie. What is
yeah,
that about?
yeah,
So it just
yeah,
makes you think. Okay, something is up with that.
yeah,
Let me take a look. Let me
yeah.
investigate why he has his name like that. So I was always meaning to ask.
Yeah,
I
no,
didn't
I'm
didn't
glad
know
you
if it
did.
was just Wolf and the Y was something else,
Yeah,
like
no,
initial, a first
yeah,
name, or something.
yeah.
So
No, it came after a childhood stuffed animal. So that's
that's cool. That is cool. I
yeah,
mean, hey, what can you say? Look at Tiger Woods. He has his little stuffed animal when he goes
yeah.
golfing.
There you go.
So
There you
yeah,
go.
so he has a little tiger with him.
Another Floridian.
Yeah,
Pretty.
exactly. From Jupiter,
Yeah. That's
freaking
funny.
rich.
Yep. Living the good
Jupiter.
life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay,
thank you
brother.
so much, man, for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, pleasure. Pleasure, man. My pleasure. Well,
And
thank you so much for coming on. And hopefully, after you win and come back or something, we'll bring you back on the show and
yeah. I'll be
we'll
going to
do more
Australia
talking.
soon and Sweden, and hopefully we'll do well. And hopefully the people here that listen, find me and they follow and they support us. So
Yes.
thank you.
Follow him. It's once again is I Wolfie CS. Okay, that's how you're gonna find him on Twitter. Just follow him on Twitter so you get all the latest
Yep. I'll
updates.
be the best.
Okay, man. Well, Adam, thank you so much, man. God bless you, man, and I'll support you on your way. Okay, man.
Thank you so much for having me again.
Okay. Well, guys, fans, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to click the like button and then give us a 5-star rating on the Dr. VTech show. But thank you so much for listening. God bless you. Till next time. Peace.
Thank you for listening to the Dr. VTech Show. And don't forget to follow and give 5-star rating.